after the great flood, the moment our father Noah came out and his family out of the ark, from the coming out of the ark came the third measure, which was the government, the ruler and the ruled. So God gave us to the innocence, didn't work. Then he gave us the conscience, didn't work. Then he said, okay, I'm gonna let people rule over people. Human beings rule over human beings. And governments, we said, they failed. I don't want to repeat what I said last week, but governments failed because instead of the government serving the people started serving the government, as we see nowadays. So the governments failed. And then today we'll look at the other measures. Now we're going to come to the fourth measure. Now the fourth measure was the measure of fatherhood and sonship. Fatherhood and sonship. Fatherhood, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Job. These four were referred to as the Patriarchs. They are the fathers of the Israelite nation. So God handed the people to the fatherhood in the hope that these fathers or these patriarchs will look after the nation. But what happened to these fathers? They all failed God and failed the nations. Abraham, our father, lied and said to Pharaoh that his wife Sarah was only his sister. Abraham lied before Pharaoh, the king, and he said, Sarah is my sister, yet she was his wife. Why? Because he was fearing for his life. Pharaoh liked Sarah and he wanted to take her as a wife to himself. So Abraham said, if I tell him she is my wife, he will definitely kill me and will take her from me. So the best thing is I'll lie and I'll say she's my sister. Abraham failed. His son Isaac did exactly the same thing his father did, because children learn from their parents. So Isaac also said about his wife Rebekah that she was his sister. Whatever dad did, the son did also. Instead of the fathers teaching their children to keep God's commandments, the children learned from their fathers to break God's commandments, to break them. And this is the case till this very day, our time and age. How many times do parents teach the wrong things to their children? One of the classical wrong things that parents do. They have a child, a four-year-old, 5-year-old, and somebody knocks at the door. The child goes to open the door because they love it, you know, they want to feel important. So the child will run to open the door. The child knows that dad is at home. And he opens the door and somebody outside says, is your dad home? He looks at dad and dad says, shh. I'll kill you if you tell him dad is home. Say dad is not home. But the child says, I can see dad home, but he's saying to me, tell them he's not home. So then the child goes back and says, dad is not here. Now, at that time, his intellect was not mature enough to fathom that dad was teaching him to lie. So as that child grew older, he returned the favor to dad. So one day, the son who was 16, 17, comes back home and dad asks him, well, have you been to the school? And the son will say, I just came back from the school, and that was a lie. He was not at school at all. And then later on, dad finds out that his son lied to him, and they'll come angry at his son. How dare you lie to me? Then the son will say, Dad, thanks to you, you taught me how to lie. Remember when I was a 4-year-old? So I'm just returning the favor. How many times parents fail their children? So the fatherhood and the sonship didn't work. Didn't work. And look at this. Abraham lied. Sarah is not my wife, she is my sister. Isaac did the same thing. Rebecca is not my wife, she is my sister. Jacob, the grandson, the son of Isaac, the grandson of Abraham. Look at this. Jacob lied to his father and stole the firstborn blessing of Esau. Jacob lied to his father and said, I'm Esau, yet he was Jacob, just to steal the blessing of the firstborn. And what happens, my beloved? Then Jacob's children lied to their father and said, we found the shirt of Joseph, your son. Looks like he's being devoured by vicious animals. Your son is dead. They lied. And from the moment Jacob heard that Joseph is dead, he never stopped crying until he went blind. Jacob lied to his father Isaac, who was blind at the time, and his children lied to him till he became blind. Jacob. What goes around comes around. Also, when Jacob met Esau, look at the patriarchs. They should be looking after the nation. Look what they're doing. Disaster. Also, when Jacob met Esau, you know what Esau said to Jacob? He said, brother, how about we start a new page? Forget about whatever has happened till this moment. You know, I forgive you and we need to move on. We're brothers. And then Jacob said, absolutely, dear brother. There is nothing greater than love. Amazing. Of course, we start a new page. And then Esau said to Jacob, let's go together, all of us together as one family. Since we are brothers, we are one family. How about we move and we go to Bethel? Let's go up to Jerusalem. And then Jacob says to Esau, look, I have a lot of flock with me. I'll be walking much slower than you. How about you go before me? I'll catch up with you in a week's time. And Esau says, not a problem, brother. So Esau goes. After a week, Jacob is not moving. His children come to Jacob. Dad, are we going to meet with Uncle Esau again? He said to them, are you kidding me? I could not believe for him just to leave so that I don't see his face ever again. Oh, so you just made up a story and you lied to your brother. So what did Jacob do? He said to his children, we are going to dwell in this place called Shechem in Hebrew or Aramaic, Shechem or Shechem. Shechem is the Gaza Strip, the bombed Gaza Strip. That is Shechem of the Old Testament, where our beloved Palestinians lived there for quite a very long time.